Hi, in this video I'm going to show you what is quadratic equation and how do we solve a quadratic equation using quadratic formula. Okay, so any equation that has of this form ax squared plus bx plus c equals to 0 is called quadratic equation, meaning that the highest exponent of x must be 2, okay, and a, b and c are any numbers there. So if you see any equation of this form, and make sure that there is 0 on the right hand side. So if there is non-zero on the left hand side, you should bring that to the left and then keep 0, make 0 on the right hand side. If that is the case, then this is the formula you will be using. Okay, x equals to negative b plus minus b squared minus 4ac over 2 times a. This is the formula we use. Okay, we'll see some examples on how to do this type of problem. The first question is solve x squared minus 2x plus 1 equals to 0 using the quadratic formula. So to do that, so here the right hand side is 0, we are good to go. Okay, if there was non-zero, we would have to bring that to the left. Okay, so what is the value of a here? A is 1, because how do I get 1? You compare this equation with the given equation, given quadratic function. So instead of a there is 1, there is nothing, means there is 1. And b is negative 2. Look at this, the negative 2 is multiplied to x, b is multiplied to x, so b is negative 2 and c is 1. Okay, now to find out the value of x, you use that formula, x equals to negative b plus minus square root b squared minus 4ac divided by 2 times a. Okay, now plug in the values. Negative b is negative 2, so negative of b will be negative of negative 2, and then plus minus square root b squared means negative 2 squared. Don't forget to put the parenthesis there for b, because b is negative 2, minus 4a is 1, c is 1. Okay, and divide by 2 times a is 1. Let's see what you get. So you get negative 2 is positive 2 plus minus square root b squared is negative 2 squared. Negative 2 squared is negative 2 times negative 2, so it is double negative, so it will be positive 4, and then minus 4 times 1 is again 4 over 2. Okay, so what do you get? 2 plus minus, what is 4 minus 4? It is square root of 0, right, over 2. So square root of 0 is 0, so you just get 2 over 2. So you guys just get 1. So x is equals to 1 is the correct answer for this. Make sense? Okay, so what we do is basically you find out a, b and c and you use that formula. Alright, next question is example number 2. You want to solve 9x squared minus 6x equals to negative 1. And for a note, what I can say you here is you can solve this equation differently too. I mean, there is another method called factorization. You can get 2 factors and then solve that. That is also possible. Okay, but I'm showing here how to use quadratic formula to solve a quadratic equation. Alright, let's see the second example. In this example though, there is no 0 on the right hand side. So you should make the right hand side 0. How do I do that? You should bring that to the left, meaning that you should add 1 on both sides. Then you will get, that will cancel, and then right hand side will be 0. So what you get is 9x squared minus 6x plus 1 equals to 0. So what are a, b and c? Here a is 9, b is negative 6 and c is 1. Okay, so let's do that. So use the formula, x equals to negative b will be negative 6. So b is negative 6, a is 9, b is negative 6 and c is 1. So negative b plus and minus square root b squared means negative 6 squared minus 4a is 9, c is 1. Right, so 2 times, what is a? A is 9. Alright, so here basically negative 6 is positive 6 plus minus square root of negative 6 squared is negative 6 times negative 6, that is 36 positive, minus 4 times 9 is 36 again, divided by 18. Alright, so 9 times 2 is 18. So here you got 6 plus minus 0 over 18. So you got 6 over 18 only. That is, if you divide by 6, you get 1/3. So x is equals to 1/3 is the correct answer for this one. Next example is x cubed minus 4x equals to 0. So for any quadratic, if you are solving any equation, first of all, look at the any common factor. If there is anything common in all the terms, then you factor that out. On these examples, there was nothing common in all of the terms. There is x, but there is no x. So x is not common. Here also, that's the same thing, okay? But here, there are only two terms, and that has x in common. So factor out the common part. So what you do is you factor out x. What is left is x squared minus 4 equals to 0. When you factor out x, you get x squared minus 4 equals to 0. Now either this must be 0 or that factor must be 0 because the product is 0. So to be a product 0, either the first must be 0 or the second must be 0. If you write x, the first thing equals to 0, so this is one root. And write down the second thing equals to 0. Now we want to solve this one. Okay, so how do I solve this? Add 4 on both sides. You get x squared equals to 4. And now take the square root on both sides. Remember that when you take a square root, you should consider both plus and minus sign. Okay, so it is x on the left hand side, there is plus and minus on the right, there is 2. Square root of 4 is 2. Okay, so what are the values of x? X is 0 and plus 2 and minus 2. These are the values of x. Next example is you want to solve this again. This is straightforward. You can take the square root on both sides. If you take the square root on both sides and don't forget to consider both plus and minus, you will get x minus 1 because square root and square root cancel equals to plus minus square root of 4 is 2. Okay, now you need to take plus sign and the minus sign. So if you take plus sign, what do you get? X minus 1 equals to plus 2 and then add 1. You will get x equals to 3 because that will cancel. Okay, now if you take the minus sign, what do you get? X minus 1 equals to negative 2. Now add 1 on both sides. So you will get, this will cancel, so x equals to negative 1. So it has two roots, negative 1 and 3. That's what we get. And the example 5, again, what do you think the first step is? The first thing you'd see is if there is anything common in all of the terms. Did you see anything common? You're right. So x is common to all of them. Factor that out. What is left? X squared, because there is x times x times x. You took 1 out. There are 2x multiplied to each other. That is x squared left. Plus x minus and 6 equals to 0. From here, you can write either x equals to 0 or x squared plus x minus 6 equals to 0. Be careful. Since the right hand side is 0, the product of two terms is 0 means two things is 0 means either the first is 0 or the second should be 0. If there was like two non-zero term, you can write like x equals to 2 and other thing equals to no. Because that is true only for 0. Okay. So this is one of the root. For the second root, you can use the quadratic formula again. So what is A? A is 1, B is 1, C is negative 6. Now use the quadratic formula. X equals to negative 1 plus minus square root 1 squared minus 4A, C is negative 6, divide by 2A. So what you get here is negative 1 plus minus square root 1 squared is 1 plus 24 divided by 2, right? So let me show you that. So you got x equals to 1 plus minus square root of 25 divided by 2. So what is square root of 25? That is 5. So 1 plus minus 5 divided by 2. So if you take x equals, if you take the plus sign, you will get 1 plus 5 is 6 divided by 2 is 3. And if you take the minus sign, you will get 1 minus 5 is negative 4, right? Divided by 2 is negative 2. So the answer is x equals to 0. That's what you got from here, and then 3 and then negative 2. That is the solution to this problem. Okay? And the final example, it has degree 3. That means the highest exponent is 3. It is not quadratic, so you cannot directly use this formula. So first of all, you should simplify, and then you will get a quadratic fraction there. Okay? So what is the first step? Bring everything to the left. So you will get, you subtract 27x, 36 from both sides. So this will be 0, this will be 0, plus and minus will cancel. Okay, so what you get is 3x cubed plus 4x squared minus 27x minus 36 equals to 0. That's what you get. Okay, now you can see that there are 4 terms. In case of there is a 4 term, what you do is you group the first 2 terms and then group the last 2 terms. Okay, and then get the common factor within that group. So what is common between these 2 terms? There is x squared is common, because there is like x times x times x. This is like x times x. So there are x times x is common to both. What is left is 3, and then one of the x is left, 3x plus 4. Okay, and then minus, what is the common between these 2? 3 is common, that's right. How about the other number? You should pick the biggest common value, common factor. Okay, so that is 9. Yes, because 27 is divisible by 9, 36 is divisible by 9. So if you factor out 9, what is left is 3x plus 4. Exactly same thing will be there. All right, so why does it have plus 4? Because you pick the negative out. Minus means negative times positive. This minus means negative times positive. Since you took the negative 9 out, only positive 4 left inside. Okay, now what is the common on this and that? You're right, 3x plus 4 is the common on these 2. That is the common thing you can see. What is left is x squared minus 9 equals to 0. Since the product of these two expression is 0, either the first one is 0, 3x plus 4 is 0, and subtract 4, you get 3x equals to negative 4, and divide by 3. You get x equals to negative 4/3. This is one solution. Or the second one must be 0. X squared minus 9 equals to 0. So to solve this one, there is a shortcut. I will show you the shortcut. But what you can do is you can use quadratic formula again. It is like a is 1, b is, there is no x term. So b is 0 and c is negative 9. You can do that way too. But the easiest way is just add 9 on both sides. You get x squared equals to 9. Take the square root. And when you take the square root, you should consider plus minus. So x is basically plus and minus. Square root of 9 is 3. So the final answer is x equals to negative 4/3 plus 3 and then minus 3. So these are the roots for this equation.